Good morning to you, Chris. We look at what's happened in France in the elections yesterday and, of course, look ahead to our own local elections next week. Any sort of connection between the two, do you think?
Well, I mean, I hope that there'll be one way that the local elections will be similar to the French presidential elections, and that's that the polls will be right, because that's obviously what I'm always judged on. And
French
something
polling
I hope
notoriously accurate, which people don't say about British polling.
This time round, it certainly has been, and we're working as well to try and make polling here as accurate as possible.
But the thing is, you're not so sure these elections are going to be as bad as everyone else is predicting.
I don't think they'll be as bad as everyone else is predicting in terms of
for the government, of course.
For the government, mainly because of where these elections are taking place. They're disproportionately taking place in London. I mean, London's been a disaster for the Conservatives, but it will probably just continue to be a disaster for the Conservatives rather than get any worse. And I think actually people are judging up whether things are getting better or worse for the Tories. And unlike if these, elections were taking place in other parts of the country, it probably won't look so bad for them in London. But actually probably one way that this will be different, I think, from the French presidential election is that obviously Macron was an incumbent. He's won a second term. He's got back into power. Boris Johnson will obviously be hoping to do the same thing in a general election in a few years' time. But he's got a lot of work to do to turn those numbers around between now and the next general election if he wants to have that Macron re-election success, because at the moment things aren't looking particularly good for him in the polls.